morning now, welcome once again to another episode of Meet the Church. Another chance to find out a little bit more about somebody that comes along to Dale Street Evangelical Church. And this morning, answering 10 questions is Mrs. Judith Rhodes. So 10 questions for us to find out a little bit more about Judith. Over to you, Mrs. Rhodes.
I was born in Bristol in 1951, and yes, that does mean that next year is the big 7-0. I was born into a Christian family. We lived in Bristol for the first 3 years of my life, my parents and my older sister Jenny, who most of you have met. When I was 3, Dad was transferred with the electricity board to work in Wakefield, and we moved to live in Ossett. In the 1950s, that was a very big move. People didn't move around the country like they do these days. So it was a major change, and we moved away from all the family who lived in the Bristol area. It took a while for the family to settle. I don't remember much about that. I was too young. But I know my sister found it very difficult with that move, and Mum, I think, suffered a lot with nerves and things being separated from any help. I don't really have any memories of my very early church, although obviously I was taken. The first 3 years we were at a church in Bristol. My memories of that place are very good because they are memories of returning there to visit family and, on holiday. I do know that my name is the top name on the cradle roll, so obviously I spent a lot of time there. I don't remember an awful lot about Ossett in my early days, apart from some of the people. We had an old gentleman who used to pray about life with a capital Hell, which obviously was the Yorkshire pronunciation, and little things like that that stuck in my mind. I obviously attended church, all the services, and I don't remember objecting to going. But my actual earliest memories, I don't really have any. At the age of 10, I wanted to be a teacher. But as the years went by, I got a lot of pressure from staff at school because my sister had left and gone on to college, and they were trying to persuade me to do the same thing. But I didn't want to do that at that stage. At 16, I left and got a job. I'm not sure I would have achieved the academic level required in those days anyway to go to college. I don't think I was much trouble to the family as a teenager. I was considered to be the rebel in the family, but my sister was very quiet and very well behaved, so classing me as a rebel was not a major concern over conduct, etc.
Question 5.
Although I didn't become a teacher, most of my working life has been spent around education. When I left school, I got a job paying teachers' salaries in County Hall in Wakefield. Then after I got married, we moved to Doncaster, and I got a job in the office at Maltby Grammar School. When we moved back to Ossett, I went back to teachers' salaries. They took me back on my old job. After I had the family, I had a spell working for a Christmas hamper company. That was very interesting. But then I went to work at Silcote School. I was there 7 years in the office. And then I went to Fullnet School, where I went as head of the office and PA to the head teacher. And that's what I was doing for the 23 years prior to me retiring. I don't have a specific favourite, really. I don't often have a starter because I've got a very sweet tooth and prefer to have the dessert. My go-to choice of a main course of meal is lasagna, which I'm very well known for, and I have been known to meet up with friends who've ordered the lasagna for me before I've even arrived. Dessert-wise, anything creamy and loaded with calories is usually okay by me, as long as it hasn't got nuts in it. I thought about this one, who is my favourite Bible character, and to be honest, I haven't got one. No, I haven't. I'm just trying to learn more depth of the people in the Bible, but I can't say that I've got a favourite at all. No, sorry. I accepted Jesus into my life when I was about 10 years old. We had a children's campaign at OSSET. The speaker was a Mr. Tryon, who the older ones will remember. He was a very big man, and he used to point his finger round the room asking if we were going to heaven. Now, I'd sat through I don't know how many services, even by the age of 10, but tended not to listen really. But this finger pointing at me really touched me, and that was the point that I knew that despite the fact that my family would be going to heaven, that I needed to make that choice for myself, and that's what I did. I've found my faith to be a great support, particularly during difficult circumstances. It's good to know that there's somebody there that you can talk to and depend on. I have to say, as a younger person at school, etc., I sometimes find my faith to be a bit as though it got in the way, because, you know, I wasn't allowed to do the things at school that some of my friends were allowed to do, and it set me apart in that way and didn't help to create strong friendships. But as I've got older, it's been really important to me. I don't know that I would actually class it as a go-to verse, but as you all know, I was stuck in New Zealand in quite difficult circumstances for quite a few weeks, and the verses that I found very comforting at that time were Philippians 4, verses 4 to 7. Always be full of joy in the Lord. I say again, rejoice. Let everyone see that you are considerate in all you do. Remember, the Lord is coming soon. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which extends anything we can understand. His peace will guard your heart and mind as you live in Christ Jesus. I found that quite a big comfort, the tell God what you need at that time. The other verse that I often think about is Proverbs 3 verse 6, which I know is one that quite a few people have mentioned. But the reason that this one is quite precious to me is that the first Christmas that John and I were together, when I was 16 years of age, he bought me a Bible for Christmas, and that was the verse that he put in the front cover. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. However, I like it in the modern version, which says, seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take.